Rob.
There it is.
This, did you hear sound on your end?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, I don't get why. On my end, every single time I play those intros and whatever, at least one of them has zero sound for me.
Oh.
And so it becomes a little bit of a worry, like,
yes.
oh no.
A little guessing game on your part.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I heard audio on the whole thing.
All right, cool. If it went through, everyone went through for you. Hopefully it did for everyone who is watching or will watch. And that's great. But we're here. We're live. It's Saturday night. Content is on. We're gonna create some content like so many millions and millions of people out there. But hopefully this content will be a little more advantageous to the indie comic community, which is what I want to do here is promote these indie books and get people to get eyes on their projects. And so with that in mind, tonight we're going to be talking with Shadowpunk. He's got a new campaign going to be starting. When is he going to start?
October 10th.
October 10th. And we're going to dive into that and get into some of his comic history and all that good stuff, the normal stuff, but hopefully also just kind of learn a little bit about him and have a good conversation. That's also why I did this, because so I live in Idaho, Boise, Idaho.
Okay, cool.
And as far as I know, within this particular corner of the indie comic scene, there's me, and apparently Tim Olson lives somewhere nearby me. So out of all the hundreds of thousands of people in this valley, there's two guys. So, this is a way we can connect with other guys who are into indie comics.
I mean, it is a game changer being able to talk to everybody this way. Right, because in the old days, you would go to a convention and you would say, "Seriously, you live in Boise? I live in Boise." And that's the extent of it. Maybe you talk to Jack Kirby or something, and that's it. And so this way you can get the word out to people, and it really is a big. For a long time, indie comics was, my understanding is that it was kind of a wasteland.
Yeah.
And so, people can bitch and moan and cry about the way things are now. But, these pros that came into Comicsgate, without those guys, there really isn't a scene. Well, there is a scene, but it's not nearly as big. And those big names pull in people to look at our books. So, it is what it is. And it's, in the end, it's a really good thing. But perspective is good.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also the hope that so I was talking to a guy. I'm in construction. I do drywall, and this past week I was working inside a guy's house, family's house, and their son is in a band, and he's sitting on the couch editing videos of his band. And I started talking to him, but it's like that. Hopefully it's not just the big, pros. Hopefully we can get to a point where there's enough of a push into the social media, outlets that we can get eyes on, other smaller creators with or without, the ones, and get the, good books out there,
there are people that are not ex pros that have really been able to make pretty big campaigns, right?
Yeah.
But there's other factors involved in that. Those people do have great books, but they also have big YouTube channels. They're good at that, right? It's something they're naturally good at, and it doesn't always work for everybody to be that to sell my book have a YouTube channel. You know, you might make a small dent.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, some people are not going to blow up huge because of their YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think when you do anything in life, you kind of it can't be, I just got a book.
Yeah.
You really have to attack a problem from multiple angles. So if you have a YouTube channel, or you make your book unique, right, in a way that people notice it. You know, there's all these factors that go into play that you can get eyes on your book. And because at the end of the day, you have to earn those fans.
Yeah.
Right. No one's going to just, you know, drop in and say, but I'll buy it. You know, you really, and I also think that people have to see you over time working towards your goal, right? They know you're not Johnny come lately, or you're going to take off, you know.
Yeah.
You're this is the thing. You know, I think that's important for people to see, because by the way, in every facet of life, there are people that do shit like that.
Oh yeah.
They take your money and they'll just take off, right? And so, you know, it kind of is what it is. I think at this point, people have noticed my book to some degree, and they see that it is different. And I'm a different type of artist.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit different. You know, my book is stylized a little bit different. And I have the 3D aspect to my book as well. You know, with the statues. So it just makes it different and separates it. And I really, because I did the first campaign, and that was challenging because I never did a comic book before.
Yeah.
Right. So I knew if I multiply the black and white line work in Photoshop, I could color underneath it. That's all I knew. Okay. And I have an art degree. I know how to draw to a degree, you know, much better now. But there is a huge learning curve, you know. And when anybody works on a book, the book is like it's the iceberg scenario, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's things in the books that people put in their books that, you know, the reader might not, only like 5% of the readers are going to catch. Themes that run through it, for example, and you're like, whatever, what? You know, and it's like, but so we all do that in an attempt to get better and to make the book have more depth. You know, I shouldn't say everybody does it, but I think a lot of people do. You know,
So. We'll touch on that. We'll get into your book here in a second. Let's we'll go ahead and we got Jolly in the chat. He says, "Hi guys." Says, "Let's keep it classy, huh?"
Right.
I will try.
I have no class.
Yeah. It's tough to keep things classy when that word is one of those. It's one class step above you.
Right. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. You try to keep it cool. You know, everything's cool, but the scene. I think all scenes are like this, but there's in every type of scene, a music scene, anything where there's money involved, there's people going at each other, right?
Yeah.
Part of it is for drama, and I totally get that, but part of it is kind of real. And I'm just like, this is messed up, you guys. I mean, we're just comics.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, go through life going at people. It seems to me like that's a waste of my time. You know.
Yeah. I mean, even in real life, there are, you know, there's those people, you know, who their like drive is to stir the pot, and it's like you don't invite them to too many parties.
Right. You know, but on the other hand, in like in Comicsgate, people love the drama. They love it, you know, and and I love it too sometimes. I hate to admit it, but I'm like, what the heck is that? You know, what did that guy just say? You know, and I try not to get sucked into it, but you know, it's just it's crazy.
It's the same thing with you know, politics or any you know, you don't have to engage. You don't even, we can mute or whatever voices that are, annoying and or too much or whatever. I'm the kind of guy, there's a wreck on the side of the road and everyone's slowing down. I am angry that they're slowing down because it's like, hey, I got somewhere to be, bro. But also, like, it's not, what you don't need to see it,
That's
but they,
like the good. That's a good analogy because with a vehicle on the side of the road, they could be messed up, and
mhm.
part of you is like, what the hell? The other part is like, can I help? So it's
Yeah,
a double whammy, and you're gonna look.
yeah. Yeah, it's but that's the thing. It's like there is room for all those different styles, all those different, in this indie comics. I mean, not just even in the drama, non-drama, whatever, but also politically, there's people I follow who I don't agree with. Um, uh, every once in a while, again, like I said, if it's too much, I'll mute them. I don't need, yeah. But
Yeah,
if it's just every once in a while that they throw something out there and I disagree with, okay, fine. Most of it's comics, most of it's cool, most of it's fun. I'm for it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's a fun community. It's a fun corner of the. I don't have anything as of yet that I've created. I'm writing some stories. I'm trying to get some stuff out there, but hopefully I'll be able to actually get into that level of. But right now it's just trying to promote things, trying to get people's names out there because at some point, if I get something finished,
sure, yeah,
I want that same thing happening to me. Get people to just say, "Hey, check this out."
Well, it's a good way to go about it because if nobody knows you at all, right? By the time you write, let's say you write a story and you have somebody do it for you,
Yeah,
it's like no one's going who,
yeah,
right? But now people will know you over time, and that's a good strategy. I mean, it's very difficult for people to get people's attention,
yeah.
and my my first book, I was the first. Well, it's basically the first story I've ever written, and I work like crazy on it. Like you're probably a writer, right? You probably make an effort in your life to be a writer. I was like, okay, this is a different thing. I just totally different now. And my one goal was, number one priority is to get a story that entertains the reader, that's going
Mhm.
to make them enjoy reading it. Bottom line, there's a bunch of other things you can do, but if you don't do that
Yeah,
and you don't intrigue them and make them think a little bit, then I think you've just wasted your time.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm not, whatever. I'm not a screenwriter from Hollywood
yeah,
yet,
yeah.
but I mean, my first one I thought came out pretty good, and the second one's better. And it's because you just get used to doing things and
Mhm.
thinking in terms. There's a period between books where I'm like, okay, what's happening here? What's going to
Yeah,
actually? And so it's cool to see the things turn. And but yeah, so I love doing it. I love doing the book. I enjoy working. Writing a book is one thing, a
mhm.
comic book, and it is a task that is challenging, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
But then it takes a whole year to draw the book,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
I if I when I was younger, I did draw. I drew all the time. Like, you
mm,
know, 16, 15, 16, I bought myself a drawing table. I spent, I had a room. My room was a dank corner room that we built in a basement. And I just spent all my time there, just drawing and drawing and drawing. And then it's just one of those. Here's my problem. When something starts to feel like work, I kind of go, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Except for actual work, my actual day job, for
Yeah.
whatever reason, I've stuck with that dumb thing. It's like, but like drawing, it just, it just fell to the wayside. Every once in a while, I'll, sketch something out, draw something, and it's that thing of your family's like, wow, you do real good.
Oh,
And
right.
but
Yeah.
I know what other people can do. So
Well, but there is an opportunity in that because let's just say hypothetically you write a book in a couple years and you able now to lay the book out.
mhm.
You could actually draw like simple basic figures and simple basic backgrounds,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
go, like this would be a splash. Like I'm gonna like this is gonna be a panel page, and then the bottom I'm gonna make sure that when I write it that there's a what the heck, and then you flip it over and there's a splash. Like you're gonna be able to arrange all that stuff. And
yeah,
then let's say you hire an artist or something and you give it to them, they can understand what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I mean, that's
and
that's a big thing.
hopefully the I've if I write clearly enough, because not to be an Alan Moore, dictate every single thing that's in the scene, but in the panel, but enough to give the general idea. Because I got to be honest, like everyone, and it just might be a certain amount of like whatever perfectionism or whatever in my head. I will use on my iPad. I'll draw up the page and try to do a panel layout, and I'll just sit there and go, no, I would never. So hopefully my words are clear enough.
Well, I mean, that is okay. Like if you said to somebody, okay, make it like high techy, and they
Yeah,
go, they think Matrix,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you're thinking
Star Trek.
tracking software on people or Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
So everything has nuance to it,
Mhm.
and it's like, and if you said Matrix, and then they think Matrix, they think the following things. And you
Mhm.
think something different part of it, right?
Yeah,
So that really never ends.
yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I do the book on my own.
Yeah.
Is because I mean that's a beginner. That's the first step of things you're going to have to explain to somebody,
Yeah.
right? And so, but I mean, I think also I've noticed this is that writers like you, for example, that find their artist, once it clicks,
Yeah.
then you got the thing going.
Mhm.
And it's the challenge is to find that person.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not just based on their style. It's based on when you explain something to them, they're going to go, right, I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. And that's a thing you can't easily find.
Yeah. Yeah. And when like you said, when it does click, it's a magical thing that happens. Um, so
It is.
let's get to your book. Talk about that for a little bit. I was talking to you earlier. I can't share my screen, but I can download pictures. So I
Sure.
went to your
Yep.
that's where, and I got the trailer from earlier. And so let's okay. So right off the bat, one of the things that I noticed is the design of these of your character. What well, maybe we'll get to this in a second. Let's just do a quick overview. This is your second book. Explain the Shadowpunk books and what they're all about.
Okay, so it's a futuristic dystopian story. I do not explain what happened to the world
Yeah.
because that's been done a zillion times. And you just walk into it. And she is living in the futuristic city of Detroit, which is where I grew up. And it's cratered, right?
Mhm.
And she's alone. You don't know why she's alone, and she's surviving on the street. And in the first issue, she meets her nemesis, who's a girl just like herself, who's like a leader of like a small group of like a gang.
Mhm.
And then she also meets her mentor, who who's looking for somebody to help him fight the guild that runs the city. And he's too old and beat up to do it, like a Batman Beyond kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So she doesn't really give a crap. She wants to find her family, and that's her only goal. And she has a contentious relationship with her mentor, but they work it out. And at the end of the first book, she finds her father, and he shows up, and he is like I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't read the first issue, but he's been turned into a weapon. He's been mangled up, and he's a weapon now against her. And at the end of the first book, it leaves you on a cliffhanger where she is, not only is she stunned that she found him, and this is how horrible it is that her enemies now have her father, and he's about to smash her with a giant concrete block. And that's where the first book ends. And the last word of the book is, Dad, don't, right? You don't know that's her father because you can't tell.
Yeah.
Because so the second book picks up right where that leaves off. And when you see the father, you realize he's long gone. There's not a whole lot of hope here. And even if you don't know how it's going to work out story-wise, I'll just tell you, he's going to muster up something to help his daughter one last time. Okay. And that's going to pull you all the way into the story, down into the very end of issue number 2. Right? She that backpack she has, she's going to lose it. And she's going to have to go and get it. And it's in the heart of the city that's like the evil guild runs the city. So that's the mission of the second issue. And they know that she's coming. She doesn't realize it, but it's a trap. And when she gets down there, it's going to be not good.
Because again, I want to jump into the design of this character. The story I'm working on, one of the stories I'm writing is Mesoamerican, Central American based. What were the inspirations behind some of this character design? Because I see, and just from what I've been researching and stuff, a lot of Mesoamerican. Is there any of that in this character's design?
No.
Okay, because it really does. It really does.
But
look very Central American.
You know what it might be, and this is just me subjectively analyzing it. It's an evocative design.
Yeah.
And so it will pull things out that people go, because I can see what you mean, right? She is based on punk rockers from the 70s.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why she's got the spikes on her thing, and on her gloves, and she has a spiked helmet. And so she's also based on my mother. A photo of my mother when she was a little kid. I saw it once and I thought, wow, that's a rascal, right? and so as I was fleshing out the story, I knew that visual design will be a huge element to draw people in. It's going to really,
yeah, it
is the thing that people are going to attach to, because her story is really mirrors other people's story in real life. Right, you might not doing the same thing, but so so she has got this, the wings are well, I'm not going to say what the wings are, okay, because I don't want to tell people exactly how I came about it, but it took a while to design her, but when I made the name, I thought, yes, I think it's working. And then the first couple times I drew her, it's slow. The thing you see right now is tweaked like crazy.
Yeah.
But for example, if Jim Lee drew my character, he would not know how to make it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, because he hasn't done it. But if he did it for 6 months, he'd know, right? But I mean, but all the characters, the creator-owned characters, they're all kind of like that. Anybody can draw a Cyberfrog and make it look cool, but there's nuance to it on a detail level that it all adds up to being the signature look, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like that, and so I love drawing her. She's so much fun.
Yeah, it's a really cool like Mad Maxy, some sort of dark futuristic thing going on for sure,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
But also, like, I'm gonna go to this next picture. Like I said, I see Mesoamerican, but also in this one, there's a Greek mythology thing feeling going on. How much was that? Did that inspire the stories at all?
I deny it 100%. You're not supposed to tell people where you get your motifs from, right? But I will say that I won't confirm or deny that it looks like the Cerberus from the Greek mythology. Yeah. But it's when you tell stories, and my understanding is, and I've noticed this with a lot of movies and comic books, the things that the writer and the artist understand doesn't mean the reader is going to get it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to be more overt than you think that you're being.
Yeah.
Because it isn't a Kubrick movie, right? Like, you're not going to read the book for 30 years and go, holy shit, I fucking figured it out, right? So it's one of those things where you want to put in things that people resonate with people, that connect with people. That's my theory. And yeah, there's nuance and all this stuff too. But, first and foremost, entertain them is my goal. So
are you a gamer in any way?
I was, when I started. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a casual in the sense of probably like you back in the day when like Nintendo and all those things were, you played whatever was there, right?
Right.
My brother's owned every console that has ever existed. He's gone back and bought things that were around before he was born. But so I have some of that. But this would make a great, like, just the visuals of your book would make a really, really cool video game.
Thank you. Yeah. So since you bring that up, I have an animated movie for Shadowpunk.
Oh, really? Nice.
And it's about 9 minutes long. And it took me 4 years to make. Okay. And it's the story of her with her family on the road traveling before shit goes to shit. Right. So, and the open to it is an animated open where she's all like a Pixar kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's in this vein, and people would look at that and go, that looks like a video game, right? So the thing you're kind of keying in on is probably dead on, even though I don't think that way. But
yeah.
Apparently I think that way. You know what I mean? We can't help it.
Yeah, it's probably just, it's like many people of a certain age, it's just burned into us, all those things we grew up with.
Yeah, okay. So for example, the way I color it has a certain style to it, and I think that also adds to the thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. There's a high contrast, but really nothing's blown out. Right. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of values in it that you can look at and check out. There's rim lighting on the monster. There's all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think that's probably true. I love it. And there's people probably don't see this, but there's a little bit of a children's book style to it. And like on acid, or not on acid, but on steroids, right? Because it's the way I draw.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I think in some of the the line work and stuff. It definitely has that feel.
Yeah.
But uh, okay. Is so this Deep Scars, is this a title page of some sort?
Yeah. So
Okay.
in the first book, I did it, and in this book, I'm doing it more so. And maybe I like remember like the old 70s and 80s. They would have like the text is like the one cover where the Hulk
Yeah.
is carrying the Hulk thing.
Hmm.
I really like that kind of stuff where
Yeah.
the text is worked into the artwork.
Yeah.
So this is my way of doing something like that, and
Which
I like it.
yeah, that was a definite like um draw when when you were young and you're reading comics and they have a whole splash page, and the title of that issue
Yeah,
is part of it, and like yeah, it's I think when I back when I was drawing, I would try to do that as much as possible. It's the same thing with like sound effects, onomatopoeias. People. Yeah. What's his name? The guy that does Transformers now, or was doing Transformers.
oh,
Um,
Baron Warren Johnson.
yeah, how he draws his sound effects just into his action.
Yeah,
It's a really
it's
cool look.
it's you know it's fun, and I really like the way it adds another dimension to the artwork, right? And
Yeah,
even if let's just say hypothetically, some of them don't work, right? You're like that's
yeah,
kind of okay, or whatever. It's still fun to try to do it,
yeah,
and I like the fact that it's one more level that makes my book look a little bit different.
yeah, yeah.
And you really it's I mean like I said, the challenge of getting people to try give your book a try is a big thing. So
Mhm.
I work, whether it's effective or not, I don't know, but I work to try to make that happen. You know,
Yeah.
so
So, your first book, how long ago did that come out, and how long are you working on these books?
each book probably takes 1 year to do roughly. Um, this campaign is different because of the statues I made.
Yeah, I got.
That added a whole nother year on top of the thing.
Let's take a look at one of those too.
There you go.
So, you these will end up being part of your campaign as well.
Yeah. So when you back the book, you're going to have a backer number. So let's say your
Hmm.
backer number 23,
Hmm.
right? If you when I fulfill the book, I'm going to randomly generate and select those winners
Oh,
by the
nice.
backer numbers. And you'll only way that you'll know that you've won is if you get that into your Gemini mailer,
Oh,
and
nice. Let
it'll
me.
say winner on it, right? And then when you
Where is
flip it
my
over,
where is my thing?
there you
There we
go. When you flip it over, my camera's up. It'll say the one you've won, right?
go. Nice.
So, and that's like because I was gonna do like a golden ticket,
Yeah.
but I thought, you know what, this is cooler. This is what she shoots out of her. She has like these little spinning stars that she shoots.
Nice.
So this is exactly kind of what it is.
That's that's a really like cool idea. It's one thing to have your $300 tier, and you can buy these things, but some of us, a lot of us, can't get the three. We and to have that chance, is
Yeah.
pretty darn cool. And
You
hopefully,
know what?
it'll work like the lottery. People will will back the book in the hopes of
Well, that is the hope that people,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also people would see that it's unique as a campaign, and that people will see that I put the work in,
yeah.
right? And it makes it unique. So all the statues are completed. They're all painted and everything. I think in all there's 10 different statues.
Really? I got
Yeah,
let's see. I got that one I showed. This one was also downloaded from your site.
yeah. There's a Frazetta Conan,
And
the
that
Cyber
one.
Frog,
And then today, was it today you had the what was it?
Boba
Predator?
Fett.
Boba Fett, that's what it was. Yeah, I knew there was a mask involved. Is that
Right.
also part of it too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, wow.
So it's Wolverine. It's Wolverine, Conan, Cyber Frog, Judge Dredd, Boba Fett, Daryl Dixon, um, Heisenberg from Breaking Bad.
Hmm.
There's one I'm not I'm not telling.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so the last one that I'm gonna is the big enchilada.
Okay,
And
nice.
that one is going to be I'm going to show it like a couple days before I launch.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's the idea, And quite honestly, like I hope that a Cyberfrog fan wins the Cyberfrog.
Yeah.
I hope that that a Judge Dredd fan wins Judge Dredd. I have no control over who
Yeah.
wins them. So here's the other factor, because and this will make sense. When you back the book, your backer number will guarantee you a chance. But if you buy more than one copy, you're going to have more chances to win, just like any
Oh,
raffle.
nice. Yeah.
So I have 4 different covers. I have the red and blue one that we first saw, but I also have that's like my main Shadowpunk cover, and then I've got this is the Conan tribute cover.
Mhm.
Even she's kind of standing on a hill like Conan. And then there's also the Wolverine, the Sam Keith tribute.
We got that's a page.
Which is him right there. Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
this one is
let's get you bigger there. Oh,
I'll
nice.
tell you what.
Look at that.
There we go. So this is the Sam Keith Wolverine, and then there's the Hulk, right? So those are the 3 tribute covers that I made, and those are 3 of the figures, right? It's like a tie-in, right?
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So if I have one of the bundles is buy all 4 covers, but instead of getting 4 entries into the contest, you're going to get 6 entries.
Nice. Wow. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know who's going to go for that, but it's like you can't. I kind of have to do something like that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with the crowdfunding indie comic scene is there's just so many. There's so many. Like if my wife and I were talking, what was it last week, couple weeks ago, when that was the 1 billion plus Powerball, and we're like, oh, what would we do if we won? And she's coming up with all these good level-headed business plans and stuff. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm gonna buy everyone's comics is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
But
and you're gonna have one of those kick-ass houses in the mountains or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But not everyone has won the lottery, and we all have to kind of it's there's so many, and so many of them look great, and I everyone wants to back them, everyone wants to support, particularly this corner of the indie scene, but it's tough to get your stuff noticed in the first place.
Super tough, man. I almost think it takes multiple books of you fulfilling them and making sure that people know you're legit, right? And proving that you can produce quality to some degree. And it gets better and better. And you got to think about it too. I mean, you're also competing with Dale Keown. Okay. I mean, like all these guys have these incredible histories of making comics. I mean, so it's like you really have to really fight hard to get people to notice. So,
well, that and you're fighting genres. Like how many people are just strictly capes? How many people are,
totally.
they just want the booby books or whatever. How many people,
Yep.
and to try to break into those people's vision, let them see it as well. It's tough, and a giveaway, it might be a smart move, like
Well, I'll tell you what. It has not escaped my observation that crowdfunding isn't as lucrative as it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's the economy is different. The scene is different.
Yeah.
And you really have to fight to get every single backer that might be interested. You really got to do that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend spending an entire year. Okay, but I mean, it's like artists are like that. We're not really businessmen per se. We are creative people. I love making the figures.
Yeah.
And I wake up at 4:30. I'm like, what would be really fucking cool if you like a Heisenberg. They're gonna love the Heisenberg, right? So that happens with creative people. You get excited about what you do, and I would still be making more if I had the time, right? So I actually made figures that I'm not using. I made 2 Batmen.
Okay.
2 Batmans.
What Batman?
Each one took me a month, right? A month, and I'm fighting to make it work and make it look good. One of them was a typical, he's like a standard Batman who's got the boomerangs in his hands, like he's holding it between his fingers, and he's like this. And then the other one was, on Dark Knight Returns, he's jumping and there's a lightning behind him.
Yeah.
So that's a silhouette, and I made that into a 3D figure.
That's tough.
Okay, it is really tough, and here's one of the reasons why it's super tough is I did a pretty good job, but when you connect him to the base, it looks wonky. And so I went and found somebody who did it years before I even thought about doing it. And every single choice I was making is exactly the choice that they had to make. So now I'm making a copy of the thing that they made, right? It's already been done, like the lightning bolt is the thing that will connect him to the base. And it fits, right? But it can't be a thin one because it'll break. So you got to make it a thick one, just like they did. So I'm not including the Batman figures. And maybe I will in the next one, but at a certain point you go, 2 months, I'm done. I got to move on to somebody different and, cut my losses and think about it again and re-register. But
so that time, that 2 months or whatever, that's the printing and the painting. That's like the whole shebang, right?
Well, it probably took. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the printing part, each figure probably took 3 or 4 weeks to hand make in 3D without printing.
Yeah. And
then the printing thing is a whole different ballgame.
So how do you make them in the first place? What's your process to get to that point, to the printing point?
The way I do it is I make them in 3ds Max, which is like the Ford of 3D programs. Pretty common. It's really good. But so what I do is I have a generic figure I made out of blocks. And I will do all the poses and I'll say, I kind of visualize it, right? this isn't working, but maybe this is working, and I'm looking at it. And then once I do that, I can flesh it out and connect everything, and then start to sculpt things that are organic,
Yeah.
right? And then things that are hard, like the batarangs, those are modeled. There's no sculpting involved, you know.
Yeah.
But like in the case of the Batman, like the one where, so he's like this, and then his cape is flying at you, right in front of him, right? So the cape is wrapped around his back, and it sounds super cool. But when you do it, it's all cape. Everything's cape. And there's very little of the things you want to look at. So I built like his belt. I made a kick-ass belt with stitches and shit on it, right? Like in every little scene, there's a thing, right? And I'm like, this is great, you know? And it's got canisters and vials and stuff. And it's like, he's like this, and you can kind of see it maybe after all that work, you know? So you're like, you learn from everything, you know? Yeah. And like I'm working on a page on the book now where she's up in the air and the city is down below her in the nighttime. And I wanted those letters to be formed in something in the city, right? And so it didn't work, and I was doing it forever, and I realized why it didn't work, because she's in the foreground and the thing down here is down here. But when I started to color it, it's like it doesn't work because they're all competing with each other. Yeah. And it took me forever to figure it out. But that's how you learn, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So how far along is the second book, and what is your kind of altogether your schedule for getting it made and all that?
I've got about 10 pages completed, colored, and everything. And then I've got a bunch of pages after that, maybe another 10 even, like drawn in black and white and laid out. I laid the book out ahead of time, and then I letter it ahead of time too. So I know where those are going to go, and I can arrange everything, right? Yeah. I mean, the pro guys are like, I know how to do that. Yeah. But to me, it's like, I don't want to be stuck in a corner. So
I've heard a few guys who are, not the pros who've worked with the whole team. You know, you got your writer, your penciler, your inker, your whatever. But other guys, indie guys who do it that way, who do their, you figure out where their balloons are going,
I believe it. I mean, I couldn't be the first person to figure that out, right? I mean, there's no way, but it's like, I need that latitude. And so, like when you watch streams where EVS is blue lining and then going right to inks. That's not going to happen here. I can't do that yet. He's got 30 years and I got, we'll get one book. 1.5 books, Yeah. So, but the way you kind of compensate for that is at least I try to make my book polished as best I can. And if you look at the first book compared to now, you can see my artwork progression. Yeah. You can see the learning curve ramping up pretty quick. And I think that's the only way it can work. You really have to do that kind of stuff. And it's hard, man. You really have to, all artists have to fight to make that process work. Because a lot of guys, I shouldn't say a lot of guys, some artists don't do that. They're content with whatever it is they're doing. And you can kind of tell, I mean, but most of the time you see people really get better, There's so many good artists in Comicsgate where I'm like, fuck, that's fucking great, dude. That is fucking incredible. Like Simon Bisley will probably go, that's really incredible, you know? it's that good, you know. I mean, like, so, you know,
when
that's the
you,
competition.
when you said artists who are okay with just kind of what they do, first thing that popped in my head, Rob Liefeld.
Well, I'll tell. I'm going to push out back on you on that because I can't say because I don't know if there was a progression on his artwork at a certain point. I'm sure when he was a kid up to when he became pro there was, but I can't say either way. Maybe there was. But I will say this about Rob Liefeld. Okay. Rob Liefeld, like I said on the other show the other day, he lit the comic book world on fire. Right. And so even if, like, let's just say you're really you're a Brian Bowman fan, right? You like all of the hyper detail, and you know, Rob Liefeld's not going to cut it right for you, but that's really subjective. You know, objectively, Liefeld is a seminal figure, whether you know.
Yeah. I mean, like him, like for me, my first, you know, there were comics prior to, but the first one that really caught my attention was, you know, the X-Men #1 Gatefold, Jim Lee. You know, and Jim Lee and Liefeld, you know, similar in the sense of, you know, panel breaking and like eye catching. You know, like the you're 14 at that time or whatever, you were picking up those books.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I was just talking about it. We were talking about X-Men #1 about how, I mean, and it still holds up. It's still a very well drawn book. You know, in spite of the fact that the whole planet bought it and it's worthless probably, but artistically it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, Jim Lee is incredible, man. I mean, I can pick on his work too. Yeah. I think Jim Lee is his best when he draws things dimensionally. Whenever he goes to the flat face or the flat profile where it's more graphic, I'm like, and then the next page is Batman running on a roof, and you can see everything about him in dimension. Yeah, and I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, you know, but he doesn't care about what I think. You know, so he shouldn't either, right? Who cares what I
think? So with your upcoming campaign, okay, your first book, I'm assuming it will be available on the campaign as well. But is there anywhere people can get it now? Nope.
No, I saved it for the campaign.
Okay.
But I'm going to have a catch-up tier, which is the first and the second issue, and you pick your cover.
Yeah.
But I'm also just going to sell the first issue alone.
Okay.
Because Fun My Comic doesn't do add-ons. So you can't pick the bundle and then just put the first issue in.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of the first issues. So I'm probably going to end up sending those out early, right? Yeah. Like someone buys it separately, I'll just send that copy to them. If they buy it in the bundle, I probably won't. Yeah. Because it'll cost me double shipping.
I was about to say.
And so, you know, double Gemini folders, and then it ruins the contest. Actually, I can't say that now. It ruins the contest, so I can't send them out early, can I?
Yeah.
Because you won't get one of these, you know.
Yeah.
But I am doing. Go ahead.
Do you have any plans for like a global comics for #1 so people can kind of, you know, like maybe as the campaign's wrapping up, so people can you know, catch up and see what #1 was and you know, give them a taste, so to speak.
You mean like a digital?
Well, I mean, like, you know, like on Global Comics, like what was, I don't even remember right now, but there was a comic, boy, my mind's gone blank, but there was a comic on there that one of the people in this corner put up like 10 pages, 8 pages or something. And it got me I ended up paying for Global Comics so I could read the rest of the book.
Really?
So, you know, do you have any plans for that sort of thing in the future?
I like the idea for sure. It does change my contest right?
First taste is free.
I mean, it does change this thing in a
Hmm.
sense where, like, if it was digital online somewhere, even as like an appetizer. But the only thing too is, you know, artistically, I'm way better in the second book.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm Jim Lee doing the next issue. You know what I mean? I've really
Hmm.
grown as a comic book artist. So for me, I want to get you with the new one.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
Makes
so it's
sense.
you have that kind of issue too. I'm very proud of the first book,
Hmm.
but it's just you know, I mean
Yeah.
the covers of the first of this new book. I spent so much time on them, and they were disaster train wrecks until I pulled them together. Right, like I
Yeah.
didn't know that the fire would be wrapped around her on top of the hill, the Conan one. Right,
Hmm.
I had to do it a little bit and go, yeah, that's because I was gonna do it just like the Conan thing.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I can't. It's gonna look like shit. I can't pull it off.
And Tim,
Yes.
Tim says everyone's second book is better. Yeah. I mean, hopefully.
I mean, it sure should be. And um, mine definitely is. Uh, I mean, I'm just like so excited to work on the pages and flesh them out
Mhm.
and go, holy moly, this is better than I've ever done before.
Yeah.
I love that feeling, and fighting to get that to work. Um, it's so much fun.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so
I mean, and hopefully it translates to the reader to to have you be excited for what you're putting on the page. Hopefully the reader, the backers will get that book, and they'll open it up and they'll be like, this is fun. I could
yeah,
see the fun that's happening here.
so when you do a book like this, that is the goal,
Yeah.
right? And I do step back and I go, okay, and I think that's, but I don't know. So
Yeah.
there are people in this world who go, I hate Jim Lee, and there are people, most people love Jim Lee, right? I hate Liefeld, but I love Liefeld. So you, at some level, it's a game you can't win,
Yeah.
right? So
Well,
so all
yeah,
all
you're
you
you're
can
you know
do,
you're not gonna you know uh the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like that style that Larson and oh gosh, my mind's gone blank again, but that they had, was very, it's blocky, it's chunky, it's
right?
not everyone's cup of tea, you know. Jim
Well,
Lee's
yeah, Jim
style
Lee, you're right.
isn't
You're
everyone's cup
right.
of tea. There's some people who'd rather have a Mazzucchelli, or whatever, who want the more realistic. Some people want the cartoon. Some people want the comic, pure comic, clenched fist coming at your screen, Jack Kirby style. But it's also just finding that niche that does want your stuff, that does appreciate it, and hopefully within the comic book sphere, within the indie comic scene, there's enough people out there who it's not just a style that they like, it's the art, the it's comic books itself,
Right. And it's
and
also the full package that you give
yeah.
them, right? The story and the artwork, whatnot. Um,
You don't like Liefeld? We kung fu fight now.
right. I mean, honestly, I do like Liefeld. Um,
I
honestly, if I had to criticize Liefeld, I would not criticize his artwork. Right. I would criticize the books he wrote. And by the way, I never made Deadpool, and I'm not Johnny Hollywood. So,
yeah.
any criticism I can have is like useless compared to
Yeah.
his accomplishments, um, but I would say, if I remember correctly, it was more like the dialogue. I remember going, yeah, like McFarlane dialogue. I was like, what the heck? This is kind of like, but the artwork was cool, right?
Yeah.
So, The other issue that challenges I had to figure out was my character isn't really like a Batman derivative. It's not a Hulk derivative, right? It's my style is my own style.
Yeah.
I'm not doing Liefeld, right, or whatever,
We'll
So
put up
that
a
so
picture while we're doing it.
yeah, there you go. So for me, I have to make my style as compelling as I can possibly make it, and part of that is the coloring style. So,
Yeah.
so I when you look at the first book, it doesn't look like this. This is way more dimensional and fleshed out. It's got way more nuance to it. Um, yeah, so uh,
Well,
I didn't even know I could color comics until I started doing it, and I was like, I guess I can probably do this. Yeah, I colored a bunch of other ones to practice,
yeah.
like Cyber Frog images or Superman images or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that kind of helped me get my feet on the ground, So, and then after doing the first, so I love lighting things in the scene. For example, if you read a Thor comic in the 90s, there's a lot of universal lighting.
Yeah.
Right? It's not source lighting like this guy's face. You know what I mean? So, I love doing that kind of stuff. It really adds a dimension to it.
What what were the like things that your oh inspirations like for this whole story? Is are you a horror fan? It feels like it leans into horror a little bit. Is that part of it?
So here's how it works. I'm not really a horror fan.
Okay.
I'm really a mellow person.
Yeah.
I don't listen to hardcore music at all.
Yeah,
I'm really like a take it easy guy, And so the book is not that way. The book is dark and it's meant to be like you described, right?
Yeah.
And so that is the irony, right? I think people have a thing in life where and one side they're this and the other side they're kind of that.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional when I did the book. It just came out. Right? It wasn't like I was gonna make like a any second blood's gonna flow book, right? I didn't, this isn't Evil Dead. I was not thinking about Evil Dead.
Yeah.
But, who by the way I met Sam Raimi once at the comic book store.
Nice.
But so yeah, I don't know where that came from. And it's just the artist in me.
Yeah, just something. It's just something in you. I mean, it's like Mark Miller. He's apparently the nicest guy in the world, and he's writing all the murdery books that he can.
I've got. I collected original art for a long time of comic book pages, and so one of those pages I have is a Mark Miller page, and it's from Ultimates #2 or something.
Yeah.
It's got the Red Skull holding a baby with his gun to the baby's head, and then the woman has scissors in her hands, and they want her to stab the husband, or they're going to kill the baby. That's Mark Miller, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a sick dude.
But then you hear him talk, and you're just like, oh, I could. You're like someone's friendly uncle. Like.
Exactly, and that's the same thing with me. It's that kind of a dichotomy or whatever you want to call it, and I'm sure everybody's kind of like that because some people are hardcore when you meet them. They're like got the mohawk, or they're like fucking in your face about everything. Everything's heavy metal or something, or whatever. And so and then their artwork is like little daisies and little line work.
Nice. Yeah, I think I run that. I'm just like what you see is what you get. Like I'm just a goofball, and whatever I create, it's gonna be pretty goofy and as well.
I think there's a thing too when you make anything like a movie or a comic book where the people that make it add layers to the story and the artwork that
Mhm.
the reader or the viewer might or might not see, right?
Yeah.
But they do sense there's more, right?
Mhm.
So 5% of the people are going to go, okay, I totally get what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then the other people are going to go, I love the color,
Mhm.
right? I love the violence that you put in the thing, and I like her the way she's designed. But you don't know what people are
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of like I like to have layers in the story in there. Some people pick up on it and some people don't. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I have the link to your sign up page. It's been at the top of the chat and it's also in the description. So if you're watching now or sometime in the future, go ahead and click that link and sign up and get ready for updates and such. And when are you launching?
I'm launching October 10th.
October 10th.
So
That's right. You said that.
every week I'm releasing artwork and I'm releasing a new figure. So the
Yeah.
idea is to get people acclimated to the idea that I'm
Mhm.
actually launching, and to get them intrigued,
Yeah. Are you
So
launching on any channels? Where are you going to be doing that?
yeah, I'm launching on Bancroft's channel, Michael
Nice,
Bancroft,
nice. Yeah.
and so I'm looking forward to that. He's always awesome, and he early on, I showed him what I was working on, and
Hmm.
there was a couple other people I showed as well because I had to get feedback, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got positive feedback. The thing is you can't attach a dollar number to what they see because they don't read the minds of people. So
Yeah.
you don't know, but they're like, I like that. That looks really cool and unique, So
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
that's
I definitely I like the look of the book and the character. Whether
thank you.
it's got Mesoamerican design elements or not, it's a very eye catching design. It's a very like you said, punk. It's a hardcore design, and the from what I've seen of the world you're building, um, it's yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. Like it's very, it, like I said, there feels like there's horror elements to it and sci-fi
Well,
and a
yeah.
bunch of stuff that you want.
It's funny that you said the Mesoamerican thing. The only other time I've heard that kind of is in that movie with called what's it called? Oh, Inside Llewyn Davis.
Hmm.
You ever see that movie? The Coen Brothers movie.
Um, yeah,
It's
I
about
don't know which one that
in
is.
19. It's a 1960s movie where he's a folk singer in Greenwich Village, and so
Mhm.
he has to travel to Chicago and back, and so he's basically a loser. Okay, he's not going to cut it, and his work is too highbrow to make any money. Okay, but he's staying with these people on their couch, and the one guy who's a professor who's letting them stay on the couch, he's an author on Mesoamerican whatever, and he
Yeah.
goes, and so they're having a dinner, and he goes, Lewin, tell us about the song you wrote with your partner who's now dead. And he goes, well, you know what? I don't go to dinner and ask you about your Mesoamerican bullshit, you know? And he's like, what the fuck? But it's funny when he said it, it made me think of it. It's a good movie. It's a
Yeah,
cool movie.
I like the Cohen stuff. So yeah, maybe I'll have to check that out at some
I,
point.
I, I'll give it, if you watch it, at the beginning of the movie is him in the apartment,
Hmm.
their apartment that he doesn't live in. At the end of the movie, it's him in the apartment. Almost exactly.
Okay.
And I think they're doing a thing where the guy is never going to make it and he's stuck in this loop.
Hmm.
And I think that's like a thing. I was like, what the hell?
So, the when I invited you on, I sent that kind of list of things.
Yeah,
Um, maybe at some point, if have you come back on, and we could I'll watch that movie and we can discuss it
sure.
on stream and kind of dissect it and see what I thought of it. That's my thing is I have not seen a bunch of movies. I
Really? Okay.
when I was younger, I thought I had seen movies. But then I started talking to people and they're like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen the other one? I'm like, no, I haven't seen any of these things. So, I'm using this as a way to kind of give me an excuse to, to watch, movies that
Sure.
I've missed out on. So, so yeah,
I
we'll
think if you
maybe we can do that at some point.
if you ever do watch that movie, you're gonna go, oh,
Hmm.
okay, huh. That's kind of like it's fun to watch, but you're like, what's the fucking point? And I think that's the point is that he's
Yeah,
because the theory was that these guys in the Greenwich Village in the 60s, a lot of them went nowhere, unlike Bob Dylan.
yeah,
And so they were kind of like stuck on the hamster wheel the rest of their life, right? Trying to make it happen.
yeah.
And so I think that's the point, but
Like every other trade or hope.
so check it out.
All right, yeah, I might have to do that.
I mean,
You'll also have to you'll also have to like message me what it's called because I will forget in a heartbeat. That's another one of my
I'll
party
send it
tricks
to you.
is
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
so
Right.
all right.
Right.
We got about we're running over a little bit over an hour. I try to keep it a little bit shorter people don't want to watch 4 hour streams for a lot of times. You'll I kind of will just because I put it on in the background while I'm doing chores or whatever. But yeah, if you're sitting down to watch something, you see 2+ hours, even if it's a movie for me, sometimes I'm like, boy, oh boy, the new Mission Impossible's 3 hours, and I'm like, I gotta build myself up to that.
That's why I think that because I feel the same way, and
Mhm.
that's why these episodic little television things
Yeah,
that are like 45 minutes or an hour somehow that seems to work easier for our brains now. I don't know,
yeah.
and it just doesn't, because the movies move slower,
Mhm.
right? And so I think there's something weird about that our
Yeah.
attention spans are different. But it was funny when you sent me like a listing. I was like, you have not watched me on streams. I mean, this is not a problem. Let's go. We got 6 hours. Let's fucking go. So I've been talking about anything really.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, like I said, we'll have to do that sometime because,
sure.
like I said, it's an excuse. It's not just for me to like, be able to have an excuse to watch a movie or whatever, but it's also, we are in a particular time where people connect through the internet, and people want to end up buying books or listening to music because they see this person, they
Totally.
like they like them, they connect with them on whatever it is, and if it's a movie, if it's music, if it's comics, whatever, and I can facilitate that connection,
It's a good idea.
I want to try to do that. So
It's a good idea. I like it. I like it. I not even considered that because I'm like this all day, right? So I like that. That's a good idea.
so yeah, we'll see about working that out. And but tonight we are going to go ahead and start wrapping up. Like I said, the link is in the description and it's pinned at the top of the chat. The book looks great.
Thank
October
you.
10th is when it launches, so keep your eyes open. Keep your save a few ducats in your pocket for when that happens. And hopefully we'll see you on Bancroft and get get it funded like within the show. That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
I hope so. That is always the hope,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Yeah.
challenge, but I will say this: whether I fund it or I don't fund it,
Hmm.
I gave it 5,000%
Yeah.
to make sure that happened. So I'll know whether or not I should move ahead with it. But
Yeah.
but I'm so excited to do it. So it's going to be difficult for me to not do it.
Hmm.
I might just I haven't decided. I might make my funding low because I just want to do it,
Yeah.
right? Um, So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all about finding ways to catch eyes, catch audience, and um, you know, keep going, keep making the things you want to make.
Totally. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, uh, whoever's watching and whoever's watching in the future, we hope you had enjoyed the conversation. Hope you head to the Shadowpunks page and sign up to keep yourself updated. And next week, I don't know what's happening here on content. I am going to a concert on Saturday night, so I might stream Sunday night. I've got someone on the line, so I'll keep everyone updated on X.
Cool.
I'm gonna go see MXPX. My brother bought me tickets, so I'm really excited about that. So
Cool.
and then I'll talk about that too. But anyways, we hope everyone has a good night. Have a good Sunday, and we will see